If you're unsure which Apple Watch to go for, you're not alone. I bought all three sizes and use them every day to help me decide which one I like best. In today's video, I'm going to show you how all three sizes look and feel on my wrist, and then we're going to go through the physical dimensions, the screen size, the battery life, price, and band choice. On the Apple website, they recommend the smaller Series 8 if your wrist is between 130 to 200 millimeters. They recommend the larger Series 8 if your wrist is between 140 to 220 millimeters. But Apple also recommend the massive Apple Watch Ultra if your wrist is between 130 to 220 millimeters. I don't think that's very useful because my wrist size is 160 millimeters, which means I could wear any of these watches, yet I know they're going to fit me very differently. With that being said, there are two ways to help us understand which of these watches are going to be a better fit. Firstly, we can measure the circumference of our wrist to help us understand which of these watches might fit us best. You get a tape measure, you hold it in place on the flat side of your wrist, wrap it all the way around, and read the result. As you can see, my wrist size is 160 millimeters, and as a general guide, if your wrist is between 140 to 170 millimeters, go for the smaller watch. If your wrist is between 180 to 210 millimeters, you can try any of these watches. And if your wrist is 210 millimeters or more, go for a bigger watch. That said, it's not a hard and fast rule, it's just a general guide. I have a 160 millimeter wrist, and I've been using the Apple Watch Ultra for the last 6 weeks. The second indicator of fit is by taking the watch's lug to lug measurement, which is the topmost part and the bottommost part, and then comparing it to your wrist. A good fit is where a watch's lug-to-lug measurement takes up no more than 75% to 95% of the width of your wrist. If you can try these watches on in person, that's going to be best. If you don't have access to an Apple store near you, let's take a look at the physical dimensions. The smaller Series 8 measures 41 by 35 by 10.7 millimeters. The bigger Series 8 measures 45 by 38 by 10.7 millimeters. And the Apple Watch Ultra measures 49 by 44 by 14.4 millimeters. You will notice that the Apple Watch Ultra is slightly thicker and slightly heavier than the Apple Watch Series 8. Here's a side-by-side comparison of the watches on my wrist. Let's first compare the smaller Series 8 to the bigger Series 8. They both look really sleek, but you can definitely tell the difference in size. Now let's compare the bigger Series 8 to the Apple Watch Ultra. The Apple Watch Ultra really is massive. It's a big watch. You can see what it looks like on my wrist here. You might also notice that the Apple Watch Ultra is also slightly thicker. Just if you're curious, I don't know if you will be comparing it, but this is the smaller Series 8 next to the Apple Watch Ultra. As you can see, it's like an enormous difference in screen size. One is a very subtle, minimal looking smartwatch on your wrist, very sleek, very aesthetic, and the other one, as you can tell, is a very rugged fitness tracker. If you followed my channel, you'll know that I've been happy with the smaller 41mm for some time now. I've been rocking this for the last 2 or 3 years, and the reason is very simple. A smaller, minimal smartwatch gets less in the way of my day-to-day routine than a much larger watch does. I found that this watch really faded into the background and it didn't catch onto jacket cuffs or didn't bulge underneath sleeves, and I really appreciated how this just disappeared. I also found that with the bigger watch, it kind of spilled over my wrist, whereas a smaller watch didn't. It just sat on there perfectly. It looked like the perfect size for me. At the end of the day, I do really enjoy the smaller 41mm because it gives me that lightness and sense of freedom. However, I can't deny that the bigger Series 8 has more screen real estate, and the screen is really bright, really crisp, and the overall watch just looks very aesthetic. However, I didn't notice the difference in screen size as much as I thought I would, and the reason being is on the bigger Series 8, you might see an extra line of text. You might have slightly more widgets in your view, but it was never enough to justify me upgrading to the bigger size because from a functional point of view, I thought the smaller Series 8 and the larger Series 8 were very similar. Now, something to note is that both of these watches are 9.8mm thick. And it's okay, but it's not great. You still notice it, you still feel like it is there. And I really hope that Apple make a thinner smartwatch with the Apple Watch Series 9. Now that brings us on to the 49mm Apple Watch Ultra. From a comfort point of view, my suggestion would be to forget about the fact that this is the Ultra watch, the best of the best, the creme de la creme, and instead look at it for what it is, which is a very rugged fitness tracker. Are you someone that's going to use all of the features every day? Are you someone that likes the design of the aesthetic enough to put up with the slightly thicker design, the slightly heavier design? It's certainly a very bulky look, and it's also got this lip that runs around over the screen. It's a great thing because it protects the screen from any like knocks and scrapes. Just consider that this watch is as big as a Casio G-Shock, if not bigger, or another reference point could be a Hublot. Now, based on my description, you might be thinking I would choose the smaller Series 8. However, over the last few years, people have slowly started getting bigger and bigger smartwatches, and they've become more and more normalized to wear a bigger smartwatch on your wrist than a smaller one. And it's partly because of that, and partly because I'm really interested in testing the new features on the Ultra, that I've switched from the smaller Series 8 to the Apple Watch Ultra. That said, the experience using them every day is completely different. I still find the smaller Series 8 to be more comfortable and nicer to use every day. Why is that important? Well, if I don't find a watch is comfortable to wear, I'm more likely to leave it on my bedside table and not take it with me every day and not really use it to its maximum potential. All three of these devices feature an OLED Retina display, and the only things to consider here is the size and the peak brightness. You have to remember that the Watch OS is exactly the same across all of these devices, despite having a much larger display on the Apple Watch Ultra versus the smaller Series 8. You don't get any different views, so you don't get any different UIs or user experiences. It's still very much the same. There may be some tweaks and some very minor things, but for the most part, you're gonna see the same type of information, the same kind of information. So the screen size is more of a nice to have than a functional improvement on what you already have. Both Series 8s come with 1000 nits of peak brightness, which is more than enough, but the Apple Watch Ultra comes with 2000 nits of peak brightness, making it even easier to see in broad daylight. It does look really crisp even when I'm outside the house. And as you would expect, all of these watches come with the always on display. Up next is battery life, and I'm more concerned with how long the battery lasts than I am with the battery capacity inside of these devices. The Apple Watch Series 8 has the same battery life as the Series 7, which is 18 hours on a single charge. There is also now a low power mode, which helps you double that battery life. If you want to be really conservative, you can put your watch into low power mode, get those extra hours at the end of the day. Something to keep in mind is I didn't find that the bigger Series 8 lasted any longer than the smaller Series 8. They both lasted 1 to 1.5 days. If that's not enough battery life for you, the Apple Watch Ultra can last up to 36 hours on a single charge or 72 hours in low power mode. Now, my friend Shervin has done a battery life test, and he's found that if you turn off the cellular feature and the always on display, you can get this to last a really long time. The prices for these watches brand new are £419 for the smaller Series 8, and then it's £449 for the larger Series 8. And if you would like the extra large Apple Watch Ultra, it will set you back £849. There's a small difference in price between the Series 8 and an enormous jump to the Apple Watch Ultra. If you're trying to decide between these two devices, I think you should really think about your use case. What are you going to use your watch for every day? Are you someone that's more likely to use the fitness features inside of this device? Do you already have an existing fitness tracker that you're trying to replace? Is this the kind of watch that you also want to be able to style for more formal events? I think it's a really hard watch to get away with for a formal event. And at the end of the day, you want your watch to feel comfortable. Even if it's not 100% comfortable, you need to have a think about, if you've got a small wrist size, is this really gonna be right for you? If you already have bands at home, let's say the 44 or 45mm bands, you'll be pleased to know that both of them will work with the Apple Watch Ultra. They are reverse compatible. Those 44 and 45mm bands work with this, and vice versa. The Apple Watch Ultra bands will work with those. The Apple Watch Ultra does come with 3 brand new bands designed for it, and if you'd like to see a comparison of those, I'll link it up above. For my wrist size, the 41mm does hit that sweet spot, but at the same time, I can't resist the lure of the Apple Watch Ultra, and I have used both and I have enjoyed both, but for me, comfort definitely goes with the smaller size. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.